Every morning opens like a new battlefield. Here, your thoughts are weapons and your attitude is armor. The way you speak to yourself in those first minutes decides the emotions you carry, the choices you make, and even the fate of your day. If you stay silent, the world will speak for you. It will label you, it will stuff your mind, it will drag you along. But if you declare to yourself strong and decisive, you will carry that energy into every task, every encounter, every decision. These are not just motivational words. They are a reprogramming of the mind, a vow you carve into each morning so that the day is no longer trembling, but steady, walked with the composure of someone in command. In this video, we will walk through 14 of the most powerful morning affirmations, not for you to hear and forget, but to live by. Let's begin. 1. I am not my past. I am my potential. Some people live their entire lives as prisoners of themselves, trapped not by bars, but by memory. A youthful mistake, a collapse long ago, a foolish decision that still echoes. And from that, they lock themselves into a cruel mantra, I am a failure. But wake up. The past is not a chain. It is ash. And ash has no fire left to burn you unless you press it to your own chest. The human brain plays a ruthless trick. It cannot distinguish between memory and reality. Replay an old failure and it convinces you that you are failing right now, which means you are the director forcing yourself to re-watch a film already worn thin. And potential, it does not live in what has been. It lives in what you have not yet touched. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before one bulb lit. Do you think he introduced himself on the street as, "Hello, I'm Edison, professional failure"? No. He defined himself by potential, not by the count of his stumbles. And that is why history remembers him only as the man who lit the world. Seneca, more than 2,000 years ago, wrote, "No one is more enslaved than the one chained to memory." Others may forgive you, but if you never turn, the key freedom will never arrive. Every morning you stand before a choice. You can look into the mirror and repeat the old curse, I am failure. Or you can stare into your own eyes and declare, I am potential. Write down one memory that haunts you and draw a hard line through it. It is past. Then just below, write one small action you will take today. Read 10 pages, run a mile, send an apology. One action is enough, because that is where potential begins. You are not an archive of failures. You are the blank page of today, and what you choose to write on it is the only definition that counts. 2. Today I choose courage, not comfort. Comfort is a sweet trap. It gives you the soft chair, the warm blanket, just enough safety to keep everything unchanged. But the price is that your vitality gets buried. You sit there unharmed and also unmoved, ungrown. No one remembers those who stayed in their comfort zone. History, achievement, freedom, all were written by people who dared to do what made them tremble, stepping onto the stage, while their voice still cracked, sending the draft before it was perfect, starting the hard conversation instead of keeping the peace by staying silent. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity. The brain only changes when challenged. Choose ease, and the brain freezes. Choose difficulty, and new pathways open. In that moment, you become a different version of yourself. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action while the heart is still racing. Epictetus said, "No man becomes strong by avoiding hardship." He understood comfort makes you weaker, courage forges you into steel. So this morning, don't wait to feel ready. Choose one thing you usually avoid: sending the email for feedback, speaking one sentence in the meeting, picking up the weight even when you feel insecure. Do it while you're still afraid, because it is exactly in that threshold where you change. Comfort only lets you survive. Courage is what makes you alive. And today you get to choose. 3. I love myself not because I am perfect, but because I keep trying. A boxer once said, "What keeps me in the ring is not the perfect punch, but the act of standing back up every time I fall." He lost many matches, his face scarred, yet the audience still stood to applaud. Not because he was undefeated, but because he refused to surrender. People do not love perfection. They love resilience. We are the same. Each of us carries invisible scars, a mistake, a failure, a self-accusation. And often we are our own cruelest judge, repeating the verdict, "You are not enough." But the truth is, your worth is not in perfection. It is in the fact that you keep moving forward. Imagine yourself climbing a mountain. Clothes, torn hands, bleeding breath, ragged. Nothing looks beautiful. Yet when you turn back, a whole stretch of harsh terrain lies below you. That persistence itself is why you should love yourself, not because you have reached the summit, but because you never gave up. Every master was once an apprentice. Every legend was once a fool. No one begins in perfection. The only person who never stumbles is the one who never dares to step. Loving yourself is not the reward for being flawless. It is the fuel that keeps you going. Like a flame that doesn't wait for the steel to already be shaped before it burns. It burns so the steel can transform. Each morning, look into the mirror and remind yourself, "I love this self, not because I am perfect, but because I keep trying." Then write down one small thing you appreciate about yourself. It doesn't need to be grand. It could be yesterday I woke up early, or I kept learning even slowly. That is the spark you light for yourself. The world may forget your stumbles, but if you quit, it will remember your surrender forever. And if you keep going, even the smallest steps will be enough to rewrite your story. Remember this, you do not need perfection to be worthy of love. You only need to stay faithful to your effort. And that effort, repeated day after day, is the loudest testimony that you are enough. 4. My energy is precious. I guard it like a jewel. Energy is the silent asset that decides your destiny. You can lose money and earn it back, lose possessions and replace them. But when you lose energy, you have nothing left to win anything else. Yet every day, we spend it as if it were infinite, meaningless arguments, mindless scrolling, polite nods, just to please others. Every drop of energy you waste is a piece of your life stolen. A jewel chipped away, a blade dulled. And when you have nothing left to give, the world won't return. Pity, it will leave you exhausted. Today you stand at the threshold of a new day. Ahead lie two paths, one scattered with traps, pulling you into countless nameless drains. The other, where energy is preserved, stored for what truly matters. That choice is the only real power you hold, and it shapes your entire day. Remember, energy is a jewel. The wise keep it locked, bringing it out only when necessary. The foolish pass it around, and when they look back, all that remains is dust. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do not waste your soul on things beyond your control." Today we might put it this way, don't let your energy be drained by what does not nourish your life. Each morning remind yourself, my energy is precious, I guard it like a jewel. And act as if it's true. Cut one meaningless meeting. Refuse one empty request. Set boundaries like a warrior building walls. The truth is this, the world does not need you burned out. It needs you clear, sharp, full of energy to give the gift only you can bring. And you can only do that when you protect yourself first. 5. Everything I need is already within me. We grow up in a society whispering in our ears, you are not enough, not smart enough, not beautiful enough, not wealthy enough. The world paints endless formulas for happiness, another job, another body, another partner. And so we keep running exhausted, thinking peace lies somewhere out of reach. But here is the brutal truth. You can change. jobs, change cities, change the person beside you. But if you are empty inside, the void will follow you everywhere. No place can fill a soul that does not first believe it is enough. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Your happiness depends on the quality of your thoughts." 2,000 years ago, he knew what neuroscience now proves: the greatest power is not outside, but inside. Your brain, your heart, your will. They are engines of creation, healing, and growth. If you don't trust them, you live like a beggar while holding treasure in your hands. Think back to your hardest moments. The time you thought you could never get up again after a failure. The time you believed you couldn't take one more step. And yet you did. Not because of some miracle outside, but because of endurance. Because of the quiet fire that never died inside you. The answer has never been elsewhere, it has always been within you. Picture a seed buried in soil. It doesn't run off searching for sunlight. It splits itself open and rises because the strength to become a tree was already there. Humans are the same. You don't need to borrow strength. You only need to remember it's already yours and use it. Each morning, remind yourself, everything I need is already within me. Say it out loud. Believe it. Act as if it's true. Don't wait until you gain more knowledge before you write. Don't wait until you feel confident before you begin. Confidence comes only after you act with what you already have. The world wants you to believe you are lacking. But the truth is, you already have everything. A mind to think, a heart to love, a body to act. These are the 3 weapons you need. The rest is practice and persistence. You don't need to search for yourself anywhere else. You only need to turn inward and knock on the door that has always been waiting to open. And when it does, you'll see the mountain, the path, the light. They've been inside you all along. 6. I am focused, grounded, and I act with purpose. The modern world is like a noisy marketplace. Notifications ring endlessly. Ads grab at your hands. Headlines claw at your eyes. Everything fights for your attention like a flock of starving crows. And if you let it, you will spend the day being dragged around busy, but going nowhere, exhausted, yet achieving nothing. But this morning you can declare something different. I am focused. I am grounded. I act with purpose. It means the world no longer dictates your heartbeat. You become the driver, not the passenger. Focus is not about cramming in more tasks. It is about daring to say no. No to the noise, no to distraction, no to things that drain you without return. Being grounded doesn't mean never swaying. It means standing like a tree in the storm. You may bend, but you will not break. And acting with purpose means that every step, however small, points north toward the life you have chosen, not wandering in the maze of distraction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are torn apart by every external gust, you will never find yourself." That's right. Those without purpose live like fallen leaves, blown wherever the wind takes them. Those with purpose live like arrows. The stronger the wind, the farther they fly. Remember the moments when you gave your whole self to something: writing, music, training for a skill, finishing a difficult project. Time disappeared. The outside world fell silent. Only you and the act remained. That is the power of focus. And each morning you can choose to bring that power into your day. The practice is simple. When you wake, write down the single most important task for today. Just one. And promise yourself you will complete it before the world barges in. It may be small: a phone call, a draft, a workout. But if you do it with full focus and purpose, your day will carry meaning. You are not here to be scattered. You are here to create, to build, to write, to live, as though your life is not a reaction to the world, but a creation of your own. So swear to yourself, I am focused. I am grounded, I act with purpose. And let each morning become not a random drift, but a deliberate step. Then day by day, step by step, you will see that you are not wandering anymore. You are walking straight into your destiny. 7. No fear can extinguish the fire within me. Fear is the oldest shadow carried in the human heart. It whispers whenever you try to move forward, you will fail. You will be mocked. You are not enough. It wears many masks: hesitation, procrastination, silence. And many live their entire lives like birds locked in cages, built by their own fear. But remember, darkness has power only when you let the fire die. When the fire inside burns bright, no shadow, however thick, can stand against it. That fire is willpower. It is desire. It is the force of life that no one but you can touch. It has carried you through days you thought you couldn't survive. It has lifted you back up when everything collapsed. It is proof that you are not just existing, you are fighting. History was not written by those who never felt fear. It was written by those who trembled, yet still walked into the storm with fire in their chest. Leonidas and his 300 knew they would die at Thermopylae, yet they raised their swords. Martin Luther King knew his life was at risk, yet he raised his voice. They were not immortal, but their fire was. The Stoics knew this. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most fear is only a phantom, and you, through action, through choice, can burn it to ashes. So this morning, when your heart races with anxiety, when your hands shake with fear, remind yourself, this is not a signal to stop. This is the drum calling me into the arena. Fire does not need calm to live. It feeds on the storm. Choose one thing fear is trying to stop you from doing, and do it. Not to prove yourself to the world, but to prove to yourself that the fire is still there. Send the draft, step on stage, start the conversation, sign the commitment. When you act in the presence of fear, your fire doubles in strength. No fear can extinguish you. Fear only tests the size of your flame. And each time you walk toward it, the flame burns brighter. So swear to yourself, no fear can extinguish the fire within me. And when darkness comes, you will not shrink back, you will ignite. You will stand tall, you will move forward. And the world will know there is a fire that never dies. 8. I have the right to exist and to speak my truth. There are moments when you sit in a crowded room, but feel invisible. Your opinions are swallowed before they leave your lips. Your story is buried beneath layers of self-imposed silence. The world sometimes makes us believe, be quiet, shrink, don't take up space. But the truth is, you were not born to fold yourself into a shadow. You do not need permission to exist. Life itself has already granted you space, and you have the right to stand tall within it. They say silence keeps the peace, but what is the cost of silence? It is that you slowly disappear. Your voice grows hoarse, then dies out. Your soul lives like a tenant in its own home. That is not peace. That is captivity. True power is not shouting louder than everyone else. True power is opening your mouth to speak what you believe, even when your voice shakes. It is standing tall and declaring, "This is me. This is my truth." Because that truth, however small, still deserves to exist. Epictetus once said, "Do not be ashamed of speaking what you see as right. The shame lies in knowing the truth and staying silent. A life spent in silence is a song never sung, and there is no regret heavier than that. You have the right to take up space, not to overshadow, but to affirm that you are here. You have the right to speak your truth, not to be more right than others, but to live in alignment with yourself. Your truth does not need to be beautiful, flawless, or universally applauded. It only needs to be spoken. The world does not need more obedient shadows. The world needs people who dare to exist, to shine, to speak what no one else will say. And this morning, you can choose to be one of them. So carve this vow deep into your being. I have the right to exist and to speak my truth. Because you are not here to shrink. You are here to stand tall, to claim your place under the sun. And when you do, you not only free yourself, you give others permission to rise, to speak, and to live as they truly are. 9. I trust that the universe always opens new doors as long as I walk with an open heart. There are days when it feels like every door is closed. Work collapses. Relationships break. Dreams that seemed within reach shatter before your eyes. In those moments, it is easy to believe that the world has run out of room for you. But the truth is, no wall stretches on forever. The moment one door shuts, another has already opened. You just may not yet be calm enough to see it. The universe is not conspiring against you. It is testing you, shaping you, preparing you to walk through a new path. Think back to the times you thought you had hit rock bottom. A love that ended only to lead you to someone who showed you what true love means. A job you lost only to discover a calling that aligned with your deepest values. Looking back, you see it clearly. The universe did not take away. It rearranged. The Stoics taught this long ago: love your fate. Amor fati. Not because everything is pleasant, but because even in bitterness lie seeds of growth. The universe does not fling open doors with fanfare. It cracks them open through fractures, the places where you thought you had broken, but where the light actually entered. The only condition is an open heart. If you close yourself, you will walk past doors without noticing. But if you stay open, you will recognize the signs everywhere. A sudden conversation, a flicker of an idea, an opportunity that seems small, but leads to transformation. The universe will not take you where you want to go. It takes you where you need to go. But you must walk. Even trembling, even doubting, still walk. Because only those who keep moving will ever see the doors opening before them. So vow to yourself, I trust that the universe always opens new doors, as long as I walk with an open heart. Do not let failure shut you down. Do not let fear make you shrink. For when your heart is open, the world opens too. And you will see the path still exists, the light still shines, the opportunities are still there, as long as you dare to believe and dare to move forward. 10. Every breath I have is a gift. I am grateful to be alive today. Most mornings we wake and take life for granted. The heart still beats, the lungs still expand, the eyes still open to light. But pause for a moment and ask how many went to sleep last night and never woke again, how many dreams left unfinished, how many words unsaid, how many steps never taken, all sealed with a final breath, and yet you right now are still inhaling, still exhaling. That means the universe has granted you a privilege, another day to love, to learn, to stumble, to rise, to walk the journey called life. The Stoics often spoke of memento mori, remember, you will die. Not to spread fear, but to spark gratitude. Only when we accept death as close do we cherish every heartbeat still echoing. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Think of each day as a complete life," which means do not waste it in resentment, complaints, or waiting in vain. Every breath is an opportunity to call someone you love, an opportunity to forgive yourself, an opportunity to do one thing you once feared. A breath is not just air moving in and out. It is proof that you still have the chance to make today a masterpiece. Imagine holding an hourglass. Each grain of sand that falls is a breath. None ever climbs back up. Yet in each grain lies a chance you can seize or squander. When you realize this, you see that even sitting here reading these words is already a miracle. Gratitude is not a luxury, it is power. Psychology shows that people who practice gratitude daily suffer less anxiety, less depression, and more joy. But beyond science, gratitude is how you live like a clear-eyed warrior, never dismissing a single day, never belittling a single breath. So vow to yourself, every breath I have is a gift. I am grateful to be alive today. Carry this gratitude as your guiding flame, so today will not be wasted, so every moment will have weight, so each inhale and exhale is not mere existence, but a declaration I am alive, and I treasure it. 11. I am worthy of love, success, and peace. Some live their whole lives like beggars at the door of happiness. They knock on love with trembling whispers, "Am I good enough?" They whip themselves into work. "If I don't achieve, I am nothing." They chase peace but think, "Only when I'm perfect, only when the world approves, well, then I may rest." But the truth is, you do not need to pay for love with insecurity. You do not need to erase your flaws to deserve success. You do not need to wait for chaos to end before you are allowed peace. You are worthy now, not because you are perfect, but because you are human. And every human is born with the sacred birthright to love, to achievement, and to peace. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A gem does not lose its value because no one sees its shine." Your worth is the same. It does not depend on others' eyes. It exists because you are alive, breathing, striving. Remember, success is not just medals on a wall. It is standing back up after failure. It is choosing kindness when the world has not been kind. It is continuing the effort even when no one notices. Love is not only what comes from others, it begins when you can look in the mirror without turning away. And peace is not a reward at the end of the road. It is the way you walk one steady step, one full breath at a time. You may have heard voices all your life. You are not enough. You don't deserve it. But those were echoes of other people's fear. Now you can choose another voice. The voice from your own fire, "I am worthy." So vow to yourself, "I am worthy of love, success, and peace." Do not wait for another achievement to believe it. Do not wait for another person to grant it. Do not wait for the world to calm before you allow it. Begin now. Because you have always been enough, always been valuable, always been worthy. 12. Discipline is my daily devotion to my greater mission. Inspiration betrays. It comes like a gust of wind, then vanishes when you need it most. But discipline is a blade that never rusts. It is the war drum that beats steadily even when your heart trembles. No great soul ever waited for inspiration to act. They rose before dawn, trained their bodies while others slept, sharpened their minds while others surrendered. They knew destiny does not arrive for the idle. Destiny crowns only those willing to bleed for it each day in silence. Discipline is the fire you strike in the dark. It burns procrastination, it consumes weakness, and it leaves you with one weapon: consistency. It does not need you to be excited. It only needs you to show up, day after day, fall after fall. The Stoics were clear: don't waste time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. Becoming is not a burst of impulse, but the carving of repeated actions until they seep into your blood. Like water wearing down stone, discipline forges you into steel. Do not mistake it. Discipline does not chain you, it frees you. The indulgent believe they are free, but in truth, they are slaves to desires, to cheap habits, to laziness. The disciplined one is the truly free, for he rides the wild horse of his own mind. Look back at history. Great armies were not forged by luck, but by training so harsh that sweat and blood became one on the field. Your life is no different. If you do not train in peace, you will fall in the storm. Destiny does not ask if you feel like it. It only asks, Are you prepared? So carve this vow deep. Discipline is my daily devotion to my greater mission. Every breath, every page, every drop of sweat, all are offerings to your destiny. You do not do it for comfort. You do it for your mission. And one day when you stand atop the mountain, looking down on the path of sweat and fire, you will know it was not luck that brought you here. It was discipline. It was every morning you kept the vow. It was every moment you chose to rise instead of collapse. 13. My mind is strong, my heart is open, and my soul is alive. Strength is not muscle. It begins in the mind. A mind that stands in storms, unshaken by insult, unmoved by fear. A strong mind is a fortress no enemy can breach unless you open the gates yourself. And today, I vow to guard those gates. But strength alone is not enough. The world is full of cold minds and stone hearts. To truly live, I need an open heart. Open to love, to forgive, to connect. Open to see in each person another human being, not just an opponent. An open heart does not make me weak. It gives me the courage to love, without fear of loss to give, without calculation to stand beside others, without needing to overpower them. And finally, I want my soul to be alive, not numbed by repetition, not caged by should. A living soul is a flame. It burns in every step, every word, every moment. It is the curiosity of a child, the pride of a warrior, and the peace of one who knows he belongs to the universe. Picture a great tree. Roots anchored deep like a steady mind. Branches stretching wide like an open heart. Leaves shimmering in sunlight and wind like a living soul. That is the human form I vow to become. The Stoics remind us, do not let the outer world dictate your inner world. The world may be chaos, but my mind is strong. Others may close their hearts, but mine stays open. Tomorrow may be uncertain, but today my soul burns bright. So I vow my mind is strong, my heart is open, and my soul is alive. This is not a pleasant phrase. It is a compass. A strong mind gives me endurance. An open heart gives me connection. A living soul gives me reason to live. I do not merely exist. I do not drift through days. I live with all my mind, all my heart, all my soul. And when this day ends, I want to look back and know I lived fully. I did not waste a single heartbeat. 14. I am becoming the best version of myself starting now. The past is gone. The future is not yet here. The only thing I truly own is this moment. And right here, I vow I will no longer live as a faded copy of myself. I will not be imprisoned by old mistakes, nor wait for a perfect day to begin. I begin now. The best version of me is not some distant shadow behind decades of effort. It lives in small choices, rising with the alarm instead of snoozing, speaking truth instead of silence, standing tall when I want to shrink. Each choice is a hammer stroke shaping me into something stronger. Look at a stone worn down by water, not by one flood, but by countless drops falling over years. So it is with us. The best version is not created by one golden moment, but by repeated acts of persistence day after day. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were your last." That means live with full presence. No half measures, no delay, no waste. Because every act in this very moment is a brick building the person you are becoming. I know there will be days I fall, moments when I want to quit, retreat into comfort. But I also know every time I rise, I move closer to myself. No one else can take these steps for me. And if I keep walking, I will one day stand face to face with the self I have longed for. So I vow I am becoming the best version of myself starting now. Not tomorrow. Not when I feel brave enough, smart enough, strong enough. But right now, with all I have, even if flawed, even if clumsy. For the best version is not the perfect one. It is the one that never stops growing. It is not a destination, but a journey. And today, I step onto that path. When I live by this vow, every minute I breathe carries meaning. Every choice I make is a step forward. And one day when I look back, I will see I did not merely live, I became. Closing. These 14 vows are not meant to be heard and thought. That sounds nice. They are 14 swords, 14 shields, 14 flames you must hold in your hands every morning. Because the world out there is not gentle. It will test you, tear you apart, and make you forget who you are. And if you do not vow to yourself, the world will write that vow for you. But you are no longer the one who waits. You now have 14 declarations to open your eyes each morning as a warrior. Each one is an arrow shot straight into the heart of fear, into the face of procrastination, into the chains of the past. Remember this: the words you repeat become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your actions. Your actions become your habits. And your habits become your destiny. Which means destiny begins with the very words you speak to yourself when the first light of day touches your eyes. So when the world is still half asleep, you declare. You vow, you carve into your mind, I am stronger than fear. I am greater than the past. I am worthy of love, of success, of peace. I am becoming the best version of myself starting now. These are not just sentences. They are the beginning of another life. And if you keep these vows each morning, nothing can stop your steps. Now choose one of the 14 vows that struck deepest in your heart. Write it down in the comments. Make it your mantra. Because the light you share today may be the very light that guides someone else who is lost. And if these vows touched you, like, share, and subscribe. Not for me. For your own journey to remind yourself each day, you are not alone on the road of becoming.